Zach. What am I doing? I gotta cut my own. I don't got an assistant. There is no more assistant. I gotta cut my own music. I almost forgot what my theme music sounded like. It's been so long since we've done a more normal, amped up podcast. Thanks to WrestleMania, man. Our schedule is out of whack. BC's just been all over the place. This channel has absolutely been rocking out. From day one, for 6 years we've been, but this week to another level, man. Salute to every single one of my tried and true AMP unit members, to my new unit members, new channel members, everybody that was along for this ride, this WrestleMania week and beyond. Salute to you guys. Red team, go! And my channel members, mount up. Activate those gold cards, cause we getting amplified. Amped Up with BC for Thursday, April 6, 2023 begins right the fuck now. And we have a lot to discuss. Trust me when I say the whole Fire Vince hashtag. Oh, we're gonna talk about it, trust me. Why it's great for Endeavor suits. The suits and ties, all the shareholders, This Vince McMahon relationship with Endeavor, man, it is big time business. But BC's going to educate those that don't know why we're so upset that Vince McMahon is back, right? He's never left, but now he's telling you that he's going to have a hand in much more. Trust me, BC's going to break it down as to why this is really bad for fans. For the company? Oh, revenue for days, bitch. They're about to make box office revenue and beyond. But for fans, we should not be participating in any parades or throwing any confetti over to Vince McMahon and Endeavor. BC's going to tell you exactly why fans are pissed off, and they have every right to be. We're going to discuss that coming up. We're also going to talk Paul Heyman. He's trying to defend an obvious massive WrestleMania botch from Sunday night. I'd expect no less. It did involve his tribal chief. But we have to discuss that. Unfortunately, we've already spoken about this to nauseum. We've already spoken about this till we want to put our own dome pieces to a brick wall. But we have to talk about it again because a lot of people are still talking about it. Paul Heyman's even talking about it. Former writers like Freddie Prinze has a take on it. So the issue is just not going away, and that's what tells BC that this was the wrong decision on Sunday night. And we're not all talking about it for the right reasons. We're talking about it in all the wrong reasons. It's not going to help anybody going forward. We will discuss coming up. We're also going to talk the latest on Bayley's WWE exit. Charlotte takes another unacceptable hiatus. Asuka takes a possible jab at Triple H. Chelsea Green responds to Asuka. And Dana Brooke is pissed at WWE. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk all that, man. And we also got the Raw rating for this week. We'll dissect that as well. So that's all on the WWE front. Now, over on the NXT front, we are going to discuss why Bron Breakker does not show up to the main roster. Instead, he turns heel down in Florida. Also, Cora Jade returns to NXT, and Shawn Michaels says, I am done. Also, a baffling NXT rating. Over in AEW land, we're going to talk Tony Khan making another big announcement. It's got to be another big announcement. It's not Dynamite if we don't have another big announcement. Did this one, however, live up to the hype? More importantly, the more important question is, did Tony Khan blink during the announcement? BC has the answer for you coming up. Also, we talk about Jay White kickstarting Dynamite. FTR chooses AEW. Bryan Danielson takes a bizarre, unnecessary shot at WWE during his promo last night. And BC celebrates a belated MJF Day. That's all coming up, guys. So as you can see, we have a packed show coming up for this amped up podcast with BC for Thursday, April 6, 2023. Come along for the ride. It's about to get wild. Let me get a sip of coffee first, and then we're going to jump right into these stories. You want to start with the Fire Vince trend? Might as well get right to the biggest story, right? And before I start up with this fire Vince trend and why fans are so pissed, and I can't comprehend why other fans don't understand why we're pissed. We're going to talk about that. And as I said, a million other topics. It's a stacked show. But I got to give a massive salute. Honestly, guys, a big thank you to everybody that participated in WrestleMania week on this channel. Whether you caught 3 videos, 2 videos, 1, all 5 or 6 that I put out for WrestleMania week, all like live streams, by the way. Whether you caught 5 minutes of a video and just smashed that up to show that love and support and respect, man, just know that it's right back to you. We had a Diesel WrestleMania week, and I always, for months, I had planned to carve out time for this specific weekend. I knew I wanted to do something special for you guys, for the channel, and so I carved out time. Never did I think that I was going to do a 3.5-hour podcast, followed by another 4-hour podcast, followed by a 5-hour podcast, all live, 15 to 20 hours live over the course of 4 podcasts. Worked my ass off. And I always say, this isn't even a job. I've said this several times over WrestleMania week. This is a hobby for BC, man. This started out as a hobby 6 years ago. It remains one today. It just became a successful hobby, thankfully, thanks to you guys for helping to make that happen. But it still is. Well, I just carved out that time, man, and we just through adrenaline, caffeine, amplification, and you guys helping to carry the channel through, we just crushed out one of the greatest weeks we've ever had on the channel. I mean, if you guys look at the metrics, the numbers on the channel this week, it's man, salute. Honestly, big thank you, man. I could not start the next chapter post WrestleMania on the channel, which is today. I couldn't start that without giving a big thank you to you guys. Because looking at these numbers, I was like, wow. And we stayed consistent and steady throughout. Just special. And a very big thank you to my boy JD from New York for inviting me onto his roundtable over WrestleMania weekend. I think that was Saturday afternoon. I had literally just cut a 2.5-hour live stream at least, covering SmackDown, Hall of Fame, and even covering the first match of NXT Stand and Deliver. And then about 2 hours later, jumped onto that roundtable over on JD's channel, and then came back 2 hours after that to do the night 1 of WrestleMania full live stream review. So that one day alone was like 10 hours of live streaming, man. Wow, looking back at it, again, I don't know how we did it. It was just adrenaline, caffeine, amplification, and you guys, man. Carrying it through. But much love over to JD for reaching out and seeing if I would be interested in that opportunity. I never felt like it was a good time to collab beforehand. I just felt like it was a big weekend already, and I felt like that would have been the cherry on top. I figured that was the time, so my response to him was, let's rock. Let's do it. You know what I mean? That was the time. Let's do the collab that everybody was waiting for. And, man, the reviews on that have been next level. So I appreciate you guys so much the entire weekend and beyond. Beyond my wildest expectations. Salute. And I had to bring the mood back because there's been so much after night 1. There was so much turmoil in WWE, from the botched main event on Sunday to the horrible Raw after Mania to the fire Vince trends. BC knew that this was the post-Mania chapter that we had to begin today. So earlier today, I had to make sure that all y'all some bitches were Rick-rolled. Y'all done got Rick-rolled early this morning. If you don't know, Well, now you know. Maybe you don't want to click on the video I put out just earlier, man. Yeah. I had to just lighten the mood a little bit, man. There had to be a pause before we just start talking about the doom and gloom that is VKM. So thank you all for being good sports. Everybody took the L on that. It's okay to take the fucking L, man. BC's been rickrolled before. It happens, bro. It happens. So salute to everybody. That was. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with that. BC had a lot of fun. Fucking. I popped myself on that one, guys. All right, so that's all my thank yous. I had to give that out because that was a huge week on the channel, and I just wanted you all to know that you guys were the reason that became epic. Salute. Okay, so let's jump in, man. No more don't worry, man. This is still going to go probably a full hour at the bare minimum. Fire Vince has been trending for over 2 days now. Now, there's obvious reasons as to why that is. We all know, right? It starts with the botch on Sunday night. Now, again, this isn't a debate. We're not even getting into that debate, even though we have to talk about this a little more in the next story as well. So I don't know. It sucks. We have to spark this up again because I'm tired of talking about it. No matter how you feel about Sunday night's main event, it became a botch because we're not talking about it in the right way. Right, so if you try to say, oh, see, they got us buzzing and talking about it, so it worked. No, it's not for the right reasons. It's the same thing of Vince McMahon saying, for Roman Reigns, when he was being forced as a face, or Charlie Flair, 8 years later, the same Charlie, and no connection. At least it's a reaction. Well, no, but you can get a better reaction if you actually go about business correctly and book them properly. Then we care about them. Nobody gave a fuck about forced face Roman. So Joe Anoa'i had to make sure that he went into Vince's office and said, we got to change things up, right? That's how it starts. Charlie, that never even happened yet. That process is ongoing. It's the same Charlie, and there's still no connection with the majority of the audience. So it's the same thing with this. To just say, oh, we got him talking. Well, yeah, but we're not talking about it in the right way, man. Nobody's saying like, oh, I can't wait to see the rematch after he's built strong. After he's overcome adversity, after he's overcome the struggles and gotten his ass whooped by Brock 17 times, and fucking the Usos 18 more times, and Gunther beats him up in the fucking alleyway, or Judgment Day beats him up in the parking lot. Doudrop, Piper Niven runs him over with a monster truck, and then after he tears off every fucking pec, every pec. Yeah, I don't think you only got fucking 2 pecs, right? Well, after you tear your fucking pec off 7 different times over the course of 2 years, then, BC, he has overcome adversity. Awesome. And by then, we still won't give a shit about your silly, stupid, dumb fuck rematch. It's not as important anymore. I don't know any other way to say that. You're not going to get fans like BC to watch him get beat up 17 more times and watch him lose a couple more matches, overcome the adversity, and then have a rematch with less people in the crowd, with less of a fucking, less of the vibes and the atmosphere being electric and amplified to an all-time high like we had on Sunday night. No, I'm not here to take a consolation prize. It was a botch because we're not talking about any of this in the right way. So, then we go over to Monday. Monday was the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, right? The frosting perfectly layered over that cake was Monday night when we showed up to a Raw after Mania with no care in the world. There was no care in the world. They didn't even know what they were doing. They didn't even have a fucking show planned out, or we're hearing the script got changed 87 times. You got people going out there left and right who don't know what they're doing. Seth Rollins goes out there, sings his song. During commercial break, you see production telling him, we're going to cut you short right now. And Seth is like, okay, we come back from commercial. He says goodbye without saying a word. He just fucking sang his song. By that point, everybody was tired of even singing the song. They show a crowd shot and people are like, Bobby Lashley's out there in 21 seconds tapping out Ali. Omos is out there squashing Elias to absolutely negative crickets. You heard negative decimals on the sound wave system. I've never heard a crowd that quiet, let alone Raw after Mania. Bro, Matt Riddle was the only fucking surprise. Wait, he's like, did you miss me? Basically, he's like, nah, motherfucker, go back, go away. Nobody needs to see you or your fucking tootsies. Oh, I thought he was honestly going to cut another 14-minute promo on his fucking feet. This whole show, an absolute debacle. And then at the end, Brock Lesnar takes out Cody Rhodes. Brock Lesnar takes out Cody. Now, that would make sense if Cody was champion, right? Because Brock could not take on Roman anymore. So it would make sense that Brock was just waiting, biting at the chants and the chops to get at whoever takes that title from Roman so he can get right at him, right? Like a fucking pit bull ready to attack. It would make sense. But he did. There's just no title. There's no title. That's probably going to be your main event at Backlash without a title on the line. Roman, the champion's probably not even going to have a match at Backlash unless they hear all of this Backlash and then they fucking sign him up for a stupid match. But at this point, he's going to go home for a while. He's going to probably show up a couple more times, say some stupid shit, progress something with the Usos. That's why I say Sunday was a botch. All of this would make much more sense if Cody got the title on Sunday. And everybody said, well, hold on. The story's continuing, BC. No, it's not. We went to Brock Lesnar and Roman went home. It's not. It's going to continue, in 2 months, maybe? Okay. What the fuck? I love long-term storytelling, but this is not how you don't have fucking 6 and 7 week gaps, bro. Put the title on Cody, create a star. Don't be afraid about somebody taking Roman's number 1 merchandise spot. Cody already became number 2 without a title. It's fucking basic 101 business, bro. You do not end WrestleMania the way you did. That started the pissed off fans. Monday Night Raw, that put the cherry on top. Before you knew it, Fire Vince was echoing throughout the hallways of the wrestling community. Before you knew it, it was trending on social media. Before you knew it, it was literally being chanted in crowds. Before you knew it, there were signs being made. Fire Vince was all over the place. Now, there's some fans that don't know why this is. Why? How could this have happened? Vince created it. You guys are just being mean. You guys are being dramatic. Not so fast. Not quite. It's not dramatic enough, actually. First of all, he never left. So saying he's back is it's the wrong choice of words. He's never left. He always had a puppet regime put in when he so-called retired. I told you guys that from day one. And he always had a lockhold on creative. H just had more power. But when Vince said jump, H always said how high. If you guys don't think that Vince was still making decisions the whole time, you're just wrong. It was easy to see exactly which decisions too, by the way. Over time, you get to see Vince's blueprint, and you know when that blueprint is put on the program. And then what happened is once this Endeavor deal went through, Vince McMahon didn't even try to hide it. He was asked, are you going to have any hold on creative? And he said yes and no. He goes, will I be I'll be in control, he said, on a much higher level. Will I be in the weeds like I like to be? No, can't do that. With a little smirk. And if you buy that, you don't know Vince. You just haven't studied Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He will absolutely be in the weeds. It's all he knows how to do. He starts with the top call, and he'll make sure that it goes all the way to the bottom. Now, will it be a little bit less? No question. I truly believe if H sticks around, and I don't think he would leave because he's right up Vince McMahon's ass 24/7, there is no bigger ass kisser in this world than Paul 3H's Levesque. That's not shade. That's just I followed Triple H's career, and he just clings to power like fucking white on rice. He just clings to that shit. He's not going to leave. He's not going to do what Shane did or Stephanie. He's going to stay with Vince to the very fucking end. So Paul Levesque will have, you'll see more power with Levesque still, but it's going to be Vince's bitch. This is once again Vince, and he's got nothing holding him back. By him saying yes and no, it saves him from any other future criticism on creative, because he told you yes and no. Can I be in the weeds? Not like I used to be, but I'm gonna jump into the weeds from time to time. That's what he's telling you. And by the way, he up front said that at a higher level, yes, he will be involved creative. He admitted that. Do you know what that means? That means all the big decisions, guys. who's going over at pay-per-views, who's being pushed, who's not being pushed. That's the biggest issue why people are pissed off and scared for the future of WWE. It's because those are the big decisions, and Vince has already admitted, confirmed, that he is making those decisions. He said at the higher level, creatively, not just higher level business decisions. That was not the question. Creatively, at a higher level, yes. That means who's being pushed, who's not. Who's being held down, who's being released, who they're going to say fuck you to, who they're going to give a chance to, who's going over at pay-per-view. All of that, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And a lot of it will be a double production, a Vinnie Mac, Paul 3H's Levesque production. But that's why people are pissed, because the last 10 years have been horrendous under Vincent Kennedy McMahon. They just have. I know. I've had the channel for 6 years, and WWE has been declining, going backwards. Business is booming. Fan-wise, we're getting absolute shit. And their audience has dwindled into the ones that are tuning in out of habit and hope, like BC and most of you. And the tried and trues, the diehard fans. That's what it's dwindling down to. So they're going to suck the money out of all of us. We're going to continue to watch. And their revenue is going to keep going to new heights. Unless the unthinkable happens and we all stop watching, right? But I just don't see that happening. That's why people are upset. That's why the only hope for change, guys, was if Vince was gone. Not gone. We hope he has a great life with his grandchildren. Go fuck a few paralegals. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever floats your boat. Go on a boat. Go on a boat and start singing some fucking tunes. I'm on a boat. I'm VKM and I'm on a boat. Watching Raw with habit and hope. I'm on a boat. I'm VKM. I'm on a boat. Oh, apologies. I just thought of VKM on a boat in the middle of the fucking ocean, and that just made BC laugh. Anyway, continuing on. Go have the time of your life, but the company at this point needs a drastic change. I don't. Paul Levesque isn't even the answer to BC, but hopefully a step up, right? A chance at change. I mean, we saw a little bit under H, and then we saw some stupidity as well that, because H is petty as fuck as well. So on this channel, I don't just praise Triple H and bash Vince. I still have not seen enough from H, but I also haven't seen H just by himself on the main roster. So, and I don't think we're going to, actually. It's going to be a joint production. But that's why people are upset, man. It's because we've seen 10 years of a decline. And here we are when you thought you had a little bit of change. You thought we were heading into a better direction. Not flawless, not perfect, far from it. Hard pressed to even say great, but a better direction. And now Vinnie Mac is just now unapologetically, straight out telling you, not only am I back, but yeah, I'm the guy again. I'm the guy. Unless Ari, who's got 51% via Endeavor, who's now Vince's boss. First time we've ever had a WWE where Vince is not the actual head guy, but he is leading WWE still. But now he has a boss. Unless Ari steps in, which I don't think he's going to, because everybody thinks this fire Vince trend is going to do something. Endeavor, please listen up. WWE employees, please walk out. It's not going to do shit. The business is thriving. They're pulling in record revenue every quarterly. It's the fans that unfortunately have to take the blunt of this. It's the fans that are going to get the shit end of the stick. We're going to get all the nonsensical bullshit television. We're going to get all the bad. The shit trickles downward. The business is going to boom off our backs. So we give our time, our attention, our money over to this company, and we get shit on for it. Basically, it's what's going on. But they're not going to listen to any of this foolish shit. So I appreciate all this Fire Vince shit, but it's not doing anything, man. They're probably just laughing at everybody. Ari, Vince, everybody's over their own little round table, and they're just having the time of their life. But if you think there's no validation for people being this upset, you're wrong. If you think VKM is best for business, this is not the 80s and 90s, unfortunately. All I ever knew was Vince, so it was always bittersweet to see him go because that's all I ever knew. And it pains me to say it today in 2023 that WWE is just better without Vince right now. But it is, guys. It's our only hope at a better product. And he just, it's just not going to happen because the business side of it is booming. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, man. They're making boatloads of fucking cash. You think they give a fuck about fire Vince? Fire the guy who's making us record revenue? Fire the guy that we just created a $21+ billion company with? Ari's going to laugh at that. But there's validation. It's utter bullshit. And here we go again. Here we go, man. This is Vince McMahon signed a 2-year deal to be the lead guy in WWE. I didn't even know he had to sign a deal to do that. But 2 more years at least, guys, to the end of 2024, into 2025. We have to deal with Vincent Kennedy McMahon and his erratic decisions. And they are erratic. At any moment, I mean, he could give Triple H full control over a full Monday Night Raw and literally at 7:30 p.m. and a half an hour before it goes live, call up H or be right there, show up, and just fucking rewrite the whole thing just because that's how he is. That's not being over dramatic. That's not just being silly. Oh, BC, stop. No, that's what he does, guys. Like, I have confirmation from my own people, no other reputable source. My own reputable sources have told me that through first-hand account from talent in that company. That's who they heard that from. And the older he gets, he just is doing it more. We heard much more about it on Monday. So no, there's validation to it, man. It's not going to do anything. The Fire Vince thing, they're probably going to laugh at it. It's not going to go anywhere. You can trend for 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months, 2 years. It won't matter. Vince, Ari, they're all going to make a boatload of fucking cash and laugh at all of us. But if you're a fan that is just going, man, you guys are being a little dramatic. No, it sucks because it's foreshadowing the next couple of years at least in WWE. Much more of the last 10. And coming out of Saturday night when we were all talking positively about the world of wrestling, or at least WWE specifically, this sucks, man. It really does suck. So I hope those fans that don't understand the severity of Vince being back like this, he never left, but now telling everybody that he's in control again with no shame, I hope you understand why that is a big problem, man. And we all just got to be along for the ride. So that's my thoughts on the Fire Vince thing. It's amazing the power the wrestling world has when we come together and we really voice out. Unfortunately, this time it ain't going to do shit, man. Ari is just going to watch the money pile in. But that's my thoughts on it, man. And if I can piggyback, my next story is kind of off the Sunday Night Main Event. We touched on it again a little bit earlier. Paul Heyman is trying to defend the main event of night 2. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. Paul Heyman, of course, is siding with his tribal chief, as he should. I mean, the fact that Paul Heyman is even talking about this so soon and addressing the fans' concerns over that finish, that tells you everything you need to know, man. This is no longer just the fans bickering. It was the right call. He needs more adversity and struggle. It was the wrong call because it led to nothing, as we knew it would. Right? We can bicker all day, and that's just what's going to happen. The fact that Paul Heyman is already talking about this, he doesn't usually pull the curtain back like this so soon after a title match like that. And this interview with Ariel Helwani was done during Monday Night Raw. So that tells you, man, like this company has gotten a lot of heat from that finish, and it's not the right type of heat where we're all just going to be excited for the next rematch or where the storyline goes next, because from what Triple H said, the story continues. Patience. Now, the story was 2.5 years to almost 3 years in the making with Roman's title reign, which, by the way, I've been an advocate for. I love the long title reign. When everybody was crying about everybody being defeated, I was like, I know, but it's got to happen until it's the right time, man. You guys got to be patient. Long-term storytelling. I love it. Loved it. Took a lot of heat on the channel for it. But BC and all of you knew, most of you anyway, that Sunday night was the right moment. We all knew that going in. And then we found out big time from that crowd live and how we felt Sunday night. We knew on another level that it was the right time. Just read the room, right? So we all knew that was the time. And we kind of knew the plans for WWE. Roman's going to take a little bit of time off, probably show up a few appearances as well. Maybe not like take time off consecutively. Like he'll show up a show or two here and there, but most likely not work Backlash unless that gets changed up because of the Backlash. But he's not going to work Backlash, so he doesn't need the titles to go home, obviously. And Cody's going to be in this big war with somebody like Brock, so he needs the title. And it would make sense for somebody like Brock to go after Cody. So we knew, like, just making sense business-wise, that Sunday night Cody had the win. Okay, well, that did not happen, did it? And it was a ripple effect. Nothing made sense afterwards. Roman goes home with the titles. Cody's being attacked by Brock without a title, so that doesn't make sense. That's most likely going to be the main event at Backlash without a fucking title on the line. And then Paul Heyman tries defending this. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is Paul. He could sell ice cream to an Eskimo in Alaska. He could fucking just do it. Paul says this. That's the business at its very best. That's promotion at its very best. That is storytelling at its very best. That's what you want. You want the challenger to come out a bigger star than he would have been if he had won the championship. Because then where do you go from there? What's the story to tell for Cody? Are you kidding me? You look down at Cody that much? You think that he can't tell a story after he wins a title? Is WWE that inept to create a story post-Mania for a superstar with a title? I don't know what I'm hearing here. I have to repeat this. You want the challenger to come out a bigger star than he would have if he won the championship. First of all, we're not even talking about the fucking how great the match was. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about how it was just the wrong decision and it doesn't make sense for anybody. Nobody's talking about Cody coming out looking better than he did going in. In fact, he just got his ass fucking whomped by fucking Brock. We're doing the Cena thing from 2012. So he's gonna overcome the adversity, and I don't even know if he's gonna get a rematch at SummerSlam. Would I give a fuck? No. It's on a much lesser scale now than what would have happened at Mania. Why would I want to watch a consolation rematch? And on top of that, it's not even confirmed he's gonna get a rematch. I don't even think that's the plan. So it doesn't fucking, it's so weird. He's like, you want him to come out bigger than he would have been had he won the title. The crowd was willing to pop so loud that you could still, to this day, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days later, you could still hear the echoes of that pop in LA, SoFi Stadium. They were ready to implode, to explode. And BC was there as well to rock out, and you failed. Instead of watching all of that explode, it was a dud. Nothing ended up happening on Sunday night, but everybody and their air got sucked out of them. And not in a good way, in a baffling way. Nobody's talking about how great Cody looks today before he went into Mania. Nobody's talking about that. Paul, come on. And then Paul Heyman says, where do you go from there if he won it? What's the story to tell? You just started one with Brock. Brock's story is he couldn't take on Roman, so he was waiting, and Cody got it, and just fucked up Cody. Now it makes sense going in the Backlash. I don't mind Cody versus Brock. Just make it make sense. The reason everybody's shitting on this is because it doesn't make sense for Brock to do it. Now you got to come up with some stupid storyline with, like, Paul Heyman paid Brock or some shit. Or Brock just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And none of it makes sense. That's what so you're saying that the only way that Cody Rhodes works in WWE is if he lost the championship on Sunday. But then you started a new storyline anyway. And maybe in a couple months you'll pick up the fucking Bloodline storyline. What? Where do you go from there? What's the story to tell? Create it, Paul! Create the story! Paul, of all people, you're just gonna stop? You're gonna stop writing anything for Cody because he's the champ? That's it. He won the title. That's it. It's over, guys. What's that? I know we have 612 writers. Why are you telling me that? We don't have anything for Cody, all right? He won the title. We got to wait a few months. Once he drops it, we have great material for him. This is ass backwards. I don't even know. And it looked, if you saw this interview, it just looked like he was pulling shit out of his ass. Nothing was making sense. He says, now you know the story. It's Cody's redemption. This ain't no normal fucking feud or story, bro. This was the culminating moment where we all knew Roman had to finally drop the titles. People were getting fed up. People like BC love the long-term storytelling. The champion for nearly 3 years. We get it. We like it. We loved it. Okay. Sunday was the line. You can't cross it because then you're going to have people like BC. Now we're going to be exhausted by it. And that's immediately what I felt when Cody got defeated. I was like, I can't do, guys, another 2 months of Roman as champ. I can't. I don't want to. I loved it for 2.5 years. Long-term storytelling, long champion, prestigious for the title. I love it. You have to know when to stop the story and start another one. You have to not be afraid to end a story because it was good. Because what happens is you'll tell it for too long and the story will end up going bad. And that's what happened. They held on too long. And by that happening, now you have shit the bed on the story. You have to know when to close the book on the story and start another one. Start another book. You have to start new stories. You can't just have fucking 4 or 5 year stories, man. It's not going to work. You got to stop. You got to know when a story needs to end. And they didn't know when to do it, and they absolutely botched. So now he's like, now it's the story is now the Cody redemption story. But it's already so overly talked about. It was such a bad botch that we've exposed the redemption part of it because it was so mind-bogglingly stupid. So by the time, even if there is a rematch and Cody takes on Roman and wins the title, do you honestly think that most of us are going to give a fuck like we would have at Mania? You think that's going to be better than Mania? After we already know what they're doing now it's forced more than ever before. At least at Mania, this whole thing has been organic. Cody has laser-focused tunnel vision. Before he tore his pec, when he came back at the Rumble, Roman has never seen this type of laser-focused tunnel vision. We know that story, and we haven't seen it for Roman. And he was right there of doing the deed. Now it's the forced redemption story. Good luck, Paul. We're getting it either way. So anybody who loved the outcome Sunday, congratulations. We'll see. We'll see how this fucking works going into SummerSlam. And we'll see if we're all fucking captivated by this. So you'll all get your way. Paul, you got your way. We'll see, man. And that's even if he gets the fucking SummerSlam match. And if he does... It's like fucking, it's almost nauseating. Like, oh man, could you imagine if Cody wins this thing at SummerSlam? You failed to do that at WrestleMania, to do it at SummerSlam, just so you can appease some of the fans that wanted to see a little bit more adversity. I can't even fathom this, man. Paul Heyman is making no fucking sense. He says he's coming back from what was just taken from him, from the defeat that he suffered, that he didn't deserve to have, inflicted upon him. Read the room, bro. Paul is not that stupid. This is not no normal fucking storyline. That crowd was ready to absolutely flip the fuck out. We have all been now tired with the whole Roman shit for a while. It was clearly the time to do the deed. Clearly the time to do the deed. And now we have to go through a whole fucking summer. That's what he said in this interview. He goes, and I know I'm going to hear about it all summer long. All summer you're going to have part-time Roman doing the same shit, beating your favorites, not working fucking most fucking Mondays, barely working Fridays. Also, he can hit 1,000 days, and Cody can overcome adversity. Meanwhile, Cody will be having main events, no title on the line. Nothing will make sense. Why are people gunning for Coney? Coney Island? Cody Island? Gunning for Cody. None of it makes fucking sense, guys. You have literally handcuffed yourself and handicapped yourself. But no, there's going to be people that fucking don't want to believe any of this. And they're going to go, I think it was the right decision. And let's let it play out, guys. And then he makes some weird, he was just talking weird shit. He's like, I think this is the same thing with Roman Reigns' title defenses, like Undertaker's undefeated streak. You hope this is the one. You think this is the one. You're sure this is the one. You watch the match happening and you go, you know this is the one. And then it turns out not to be the one. And you go, oh man, I can't wait to see the next chapter. Yeah, that's what we did, Paul. After fucking Cody lost, we all went, oh man, damn it. Shit, man. All right, next time, dude. Oh, dude. He's going to come back better than ever, bro. Cody's going to be coming back, dude. I can't wait to see SummerSlam, probably, right? Maybe he'll win King of the Ring or something and catch. Oh, dude. Wow, what a WrestleMania, dude. Fuck, what a weekend. I can't believe Roman got that. That's not what we're doing, Paul. That would be cute and adorable if that's what happened. Then you can spew the bullshit. That's not what happened, bro. We're baffled. We're baffled that they could botch so badly. We all know as wrestling fans that it was just a massive botch because we're also looking to the forward, to the future, right? We're seeing how they already did things on Monday for the future, and it has nothing to do with that. We're going to revisit it by summer. Come on, man. Nobody's talking about this being fun. Nobody is talking about giving this a chance because we know how forced and stupid this all is, because now you're trying to make up a consolation prize for a massive botch for what should have been. And comparing it to the Undertaker's streak is bad, bro, because to this day, most of the community thinks that was a bad, botched decision. So why would you compare Sunday night's decision to that? That's the point. If you don't understand your mistake the first time, you're doomed to repeat it, and you just did. Paul Heyman is absolutely batshit bonkers here, bro. And he's not reading the room, and it's obviously, you know, that's the tribal chief. But the fact that he is talking about this that quickly, you know they're taking a different type of heat for this. And you know that they botched it. And if there was a redo, there may have to be an extra table reading between all the suits and ties. Because if they had a do-over, I don't think you see the same fucking thing that you saw on Sunday night. Freddie Prinze Jr. said it best, too. Who also, like, after that interview came out, Freddie Prinze Jr., who was a former writer for WWE and actor, but he actually had a good quote on it. He says, it was a really bad weekend for Cody Rhodes and for everybody that invested their time and energy in watching the story and his story, which was billed as a Hollywood story, to come to a finale in Hollywood and supposedly have a Hollywood ending. And it was the worst possible ending a movie could have. Freddie Prinze says, I've heard people say, well, maybe they'll do it at Madison Square Garden or here or there. Madison Square Garden, where his dad won it a couple of months. Where his dad won in a couple of months in Madison Square Garden, I think is what he said. And it's like you're going to force it at that point. You're going to force feed the championship. That's exactly how BC saw it as well. Freddie Prinze says that's what fans hate, is when it's like, we'll give him the title on this date because of this. No, give him the title when the story dictates the title should be given. I love that line by Freddie Prinze. That's what BC has been saying, and so many people. That's what frustrated us. It's not that everybody's a super Cody Rhodes fan. I mean, you could be fans of Cody, but we're frustrated at how they could botch this so badly on the biggest stage in the main event to send fans home befuddled and baffled and not in a good way. And in the future, storyline-wise, nothing's going to make sense now. This is why, man, I love that line. We'll give him the title on this date because of this. That's what they're doing, right? Oh, maybe at SummerSlam, because fans were so hostile the first time, we're going to build him up through the adversity storyline, and maybe at SummerSlam he gets it. No, fans don't like the force-fed bullshit. And like he says, give him the title when the story dictates. Everybody with common sense and logic knows that Sunday night is when the story dictated such. Everybody knows that. So, Guys, that's I don't even want to keep harping on this. It's frustrating that we're even still having this discussion, and this is how BC knows that this was a botch, because we're talking about it in this way and not a fun way. We're not talking about it in a fun fucking, oh man, Cody's redemption's going to be so much fun. I can't wait till like SummerSlam. And guys, don't even like hold your cards on SummerSlam. Don't put all your chips on the table for SummerSlam, because knowing Vince McMahon, you might not even get that rematch. So, and even if we do, it's not what it would have been at Mania. It's adorable that everybody thinks this was most people know that this was a botch, but there's still quite a bit of fans that just give WWE so much hope. The benefit of the doubt, I would say, right? They give them benefit of the doubt. Those are my words. And they haven't earned your benefit of the doubt. Vince McMahon has not earned the benefit of the doubt. So I don't know why you guys believe that Vince McMahon is going to give you epic story continuation all the way through SummerSlam. It's not going to happen, guys. You needed to start new stories fresh after Mania. And now you just have your tribal chief as the champion, and he's going to work part-time still. He's going to crush anybody else if he hasn't. I mean, he's already ran through everybody else. Cody was the fucking one to take it because there just was nobody else. Now you're going to have to manufacture some shit and crush them in the process, just like you did Cody. And Cody will still be in main events just without the title. I don't even fucking know, man. I don't even know. This is all just so badly botched that it has crushed the spirit, the aura of caring about WWE, and Monday night just put the final nail in the coffin, and that's why you see Fire Vince, man. Paul Heyman knows that, man. I'll tell you that much. Next up, I want to go over to some of the ladies over in WWE. The latest on Bayley's WWE exit is that she did not ask for a release or anything like that. That's not what we're hearing at this time. That's the good news. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you guys want her out the door. Out of the door. Get out. Right? Maybe she'll get better opportunities elsewhere. I don't know. Tony Khan's women's division still needs a lot of work as well. But we're hearing that she just requested a little bit of time off. And that's what the buy was on her social, and that's why Damage Control is now just 2/3. They didn't even mention Bayley. But she did not ask for a request, so I still don't know if she's upset with WWE, but she's been granted a little bit of time off. We don't know if that's 2 months, 2 weeks. On Monday Night Raw, so 2 days. But she just asked for a little bit of time off. She knew that ahead of time, put buy on her social, and literally took off. She was not part of Monday. Nobody mentioned her on Monday Night Raw. No commentator, no nothing. Even when Damage Control was out there, EO and Dakota. But that's the latest on Bayley's exit. It's still a little bit of a mystery, but she is still part of WWE. Just asked for time off. I gotta believe she's frustrated, knowing how much she is trying to change the division for the better and has been. And starting this group like Damage Control, trying to be creative and innovative, and absolutely just being given loss after loss. It's fucking sad to see. So if she is upset, I wouldn't blame her. Asuka took a possible jab at Triple H. This was actually kind of funny. Asuka, of course, was already in a little bit of the doghouse, we believe, because after WrestleMania, she put out a post that said, maybe I should just go back to Japan. But then who's going to save this boring women's division, she says. And she put up a shit emoji. So she's calling the women's division shitty. And she said it's boring. And she said maybe I should just go back to Japan if I'm basically going to be booked like this. Now, everybody loves Asuka. And Asuka was probably just having a little bit of fun. Inventing at the same time. It's okay for people to do it. Everybody else does it. And when Asuka does it, everybody's like, what? You can't do that. But I'm sure Triple H and all of the suits and ties got a little pissed off, right? I mean, you want to kind of stick up for their booking, even if you lose. And Asuka was like, maybe I should just go back to Japan. And, you're 0-5 at WrestleMania. You've never won a WrestleMania. It's getting to pathetic levels now. But then to call out the women's division, say it's boring, and put the shit emoji, I mean, that's probably the icing on the cake. And then you didn't even see Asuka or even hear about her much on Monday Night Raw. Bianca came out, and Bianca gave her some props. But then it was Rhea Ripley that oddly came out for a face-to-face, even though they're not facing each other anytime soon. There was no Asuka on Monday night, so we were all thinking oh no, is she in trouble for that? And then she put up a post-Raw. She says, and I quote, with a picture of herself, "I myself am an art form." Now, of course, that's the Triple H motto. Triple H always says this in interviews to kind of skate around questions. He always says WWE in itself is he tries to get the deep voice so he can sound a little bit more controlling and demanding like a Vince. But then you hear him in a promo in the ring and it goes higher, right? It's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. But he tries to go into deep voice. He's always WWE is an art form in and of itself, right? He always says that. It was funny to hear Asuka say, "I myself am an art form." Me, that's all I need. I just think that's really funny. Chelsea Green responded, "You're crazy." Crazy in capital letters. Asuka is just funny, man. Now, again, that could just be a line that she used, but if you've heard enough Paul 3H's Levesque, he loves that line. WWE is an art form in and of itself. And then Asuka says, "I myself in an art form." I don't know. It's just Asuka's poking some buttons lately, man. And you don't usually see that because she's so beloved and she's always had the sense of humor. Maybe she's just using it for a little bit more venting. Salute to Asuka. If she's in the doghouse, I'm loving it because she's never been any more funnier than now. Of course, we love Asuka. And then also for the other ladies, a couple other ladies in WWE of note. Charlotte Flair. Charlie is taking another unacceptable hiatus. I say unacceptable because she just came back. She just came back from a 7-month hiatus, comes back, gets the title on day one, gets what was almost going to be a main event of night one if they didn't last minute, and I mean last minute, listen to the fucking fans for once and put the tag team titles in the main event, as it should be. And she drops the title, and then she goes again. We're hearing that she asked for another lengthy hiatus. I don't know how long that is. Maybe the backlash is going to bring her back Friday for a promo. I don't know. And then she takes off. But we're hearing she asked for another lengthy hiatus. She just had her birthday yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. Happy birthday to Charlie. 37, I believe. But, dude, I mean, everyone else is busting their ass. This is what I mean. And you come back and you win a title on day one. 3 months later, you almost have a WrestleMania main event, and then you take off again. You'll come back in a few months and what? Get a main event or a close to a main event at SummerSlam? You'll get the title back at night one, or when you come back, or you'll get it at SummerSlam. This is not fair to and I hate that term, not fair. Life is not fair. But it's totally not fair to all the ladies, man. We can't keep playing this Charlie Flair game, bro. This agenda has to stop. There's not even a connection to this woman. So you can take the hiatus, but let it be known as a prerequisite. When you come back, you're starting at the bottom. You're going to have a lot of feuds that have nothing to do with the title. And maybe in a couple years, we'll revisit a 15th title reign. That's what BC would say if I'm head of WWE. But that's not going to happen. They'll say, take as much time as you want. Take as much time as you need. Come back in a year. We'll have the title polished for you. And maybe the main event at WrestleMania. That's what they'll do. They'll bend over backwards for her. I think it's an unacceptable hiatus. It's way too soon, and everybody else doesn't get that. And when they do, if they came back, they'd be punished. When Bayley comes back, she probably has to start. She's already negative front of the line. There's the front of the line, and then there's negative. There's like a line before the front of the line. That's the fucking losses that Bayley's been eating. She's got to work her ass off just to get to the front of the line again. Front of the line, meaning beginning of the line, I should say. There's the beginning of the line and then negative beginning of the line. She has to work 10 times as hard just to get to the beginning of the line, then start going through the fucking roster, and maybe by 2029 she can get a title fucking shot. It's frustrating, man. And Dana Brooke. This one's actually funny. Dana Brooke is pissed at WWE. This one's a funny one. Let me get a swig of coffee and we'll talk about it. All right. So Dana Brooke. Now, let me set this up correctly for you guys. So there was this fan, evidently. He had I actually saw the picture, not evidently. He had there was a picture of him with a sign that says, "Give Dana Brooke a chance." And evidently, this sign got confiscated by WWE. This thing was actually on Raw, too, I think. In a few shots, they took it away. Now, Dana Brooke found out about this. First, she was really happy to see that. She, retweeted or something, the picture. She was all happy. And then she found out that the sign had been confiscated by her employer. She's not really an employee. She's an independent contractor, but by WWE. So her own people are taking that sign away. So Dana got upset. Dana Brooke said, and I quote, to the fan, and she retweeted that with this quote, "I am so sorry. This is so wrong, and it will be addressed." Dana Brooke is going to be marching into Vince McMahon's office, bro. I need to talk to you now. What in the... Who are you? Oh, I thought we released you 3 years ago. Dana's trying to backpedal out of the office. Maybe I should just go back to where I was. Dana Brooke, man, she said, "I'm so sorry. This is so wrong. It will be addressed." Dana Brooke is not happy that that people's signs are being taken away that says, "Give Dana Brooke a chance." So to double down, Dana Brooke actually started to retweet people that are using the hashtag "Give Dana Brooke a chance." She's literally starting this thing. That is not going to make the company look good, and that is not the way you're going to make Triple H or Vince McMahon or any of the suits and ties. That's not going to make them happy. I don't think Dana's really concerned with that right now. I think she knows that with all the influx of negativity and uncertainty right now, and the way she was already being used, I think Dana Brooke might see the writing on the wall. You know, I mean, the Nia Jaxes and the Lanas and so many, even the Eva Maries, they've all, one way or another, slowly but surely, they have fallen to the wayside. Dana Brooke has held on. That's not shade. I'm proud of her. I just don't know if this is working, this Dana Brooke WWE relationship. I don't know if they're giving her the proper time, and I don't know if when they do give her the time, is she utilizing it correctly? I don't know where the disconnect is. Well, I kind of do. It's just weird that this is still going on. Of all the talent that women's division has, maybe at this point Dana Brooke would even be more happy not being there. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. But it doesn't sound like she's happy right now, man. And now she's just going to piss him off even more with this new turn of events, and she's starting her own fucking push. Give Dana Brooke a chance. The company's going to be like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? I got Asuka over here calling out the women's division being boring and shitty, and the booking's so bad, maybe I should go back to fucking Japan. I got you fucking saying, just give me a chance. I'm not getting jack shit over here. I got Ronda Rousey over here always calling out the division." It's not looking good for Paul 3H's Levesque and his women's division right now, man. All right. That's what I got for you guys on the WWE side of things. Also, real quick, the Raw rating pulled over a 2.2. The post-WrestleMania Raw rating over a 2.2. Now, if you guys remember what BC said on the Raw review live stream, I told you guys what I expected Raw to come in at. And I told you guys I see it coming in at about a 2.2. I would be shocked if it was too much less or too much more. Well, come on, man. You know I know my numbers. It came in at a 2.2, just over 2.2. So a lot of people are like, well, PC, that's a pretty good number for a really bad show that's been getting panned, right? No, but we knew. I said you know how I feel about the Raw. I mean, that's the worst Raw after Mania I've ever seen. One of the worst Raws I've ever seen, and that's saying something because there's been some bad ones. But I still came up with the number 2.2 because it's the post WrestleMania show, guys. No matter how bad the show is, first hour, people are going to stick around, right? The first hour was, by the way, the top hour, commercial free for the most part as well. And then it started to go down consistently, but enough people stayed on because they're like, there's got to be more surprises, right? It's going to get better as time goes on, right? So enough people stuck around, and it was enough kickback at the start of the show from the WrestleMania post crowd that a 2-2 is what BC kind of settled on. And I told you guys that on that Raw review. And hours later, the actual number came out as 2-2. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. It wasn't good enough to be more than 2-2. It just wasn't. It was not a good enough show. And if you think that's a good number, guys, they were fucking around with 1.8 going into Mania. 1.8. WrestleMania's post-show Raw only got 400,000 more viewers. I mean, usually this is casual fan bonanza time. This is where you should be pulling in 750 to $1 million up front, bro. All hands on deck, ready to rock, talk of the town. And a 2.2 is all they got. That's their high. You think that's going to stick around next week? We'll see, man. But that's the Raw rating. It's nothing special, nothing big at all. Some people are like, "What? Raw pulls in a huge number this." They pulled a 1.8 plus last week. They pulled a 2.2 post Mania. That's not huge by a long shot. If they just put together a good show, we could be talking about a 2.4 bare minimum. But they didn't do that, man. Let's move on, guys, over to the NXT side of things. We'll get to AEW in a little bit too, man. A lot to talk about in AEW. In their world. NXT's world, though. A few topics there. So, we start with Bron Breakker, man. Why? Bron, why? Now, a lot of people thought that Bron could be one of the big surprises for the Raw after Mania. What we would find out is there was no big surprises. There was no surprises, period, other than Scooter McGee. So, there was no Bron Breakker. We're like, okay, they're going to hold off. Like Cameron Grimes, they're going to hold off for a while. No, Bron just started another fucking little thing with Carmelo and Trick Williams. Bron Breakker turns heel down in Florida, down in NXT. And we're like, well, wait, why is he still even playing around there, bro? There's nothing left to prove. You need to see a fucking rematch with that shit. Go over to the roster at this point. Or was their plan to turn him heel, solidify the heel, and then go to the main roster as a heel? That way, any backlash from fucking Rick Steiner, Papa Steiner, any backlash from the words that he said over WrestleMania weekend, I'm not going to reiterate it. I'm not going to get into that subject. But maybe they didn't want him to face that backlash, be booed, anything like that. So they're like, fuck, we got to turn you heel, bro, before you can come over. That way we're protecting you. Maybe Rick Steiner screwed the guy. I don't look at it as such. I love seeing him as a heel. I thought he came into his own when he fucking took out Trick and took out Carmelo. I thought he was in his element, in his zone. There was this confidence. There was a moment, if you watched his turn, he looks up to the sky a little bit, and there was this smile on his face. It was almost like vindication. Like he's been waiting to do that for a long time. It was like such a freeing moment. He looks up a little bit, gives a smile, and he does his Hulk Hogan, rips the shirt off, and he is just, that is a Bron Breakker ready to destroy. I love it. So, a lot of people saying, why, Bron, why? Well, because it's best for business. I just don't understand. I don't know. You could have probably done that on night one when he gets to the main roster. Solidify himself into a storyline. Nowhere near a title. Solidify Bron Breakker. He'll get a good pop maybe at first. I don't think he'd be booed too much because of Rick on his initial debut. And on his initial debut, you find out quickly he's a heel. He could have done it that way too. Now, also another return for NXT was Cora Jade. Cora Jade always reminds me like an AJ Lee, and she has said multiple times how that's one of her role models growing up was AJ Lee. So you could see a lot of Cora Jade. A lot of AJ Lee is in Cora Jade. So she returned, and she took out champ Indy Hartwell, I believe. That was, she came back with a vengeance. Her and Bron Breakker, they came back with some motivation. And oddly enough, I believe they're a real-life couple, guys. They're in a relationship, I believe. I'll double check, but I think that Cora Jade and Bron Breakker are an actual thing, a unit. So how funny of that? They both had a big fucking night and both appeared to be at their peak best. Congrats to Cora Jade. Shawn Michaels says, I'm done with NXT. Not so fast. Not exactly. On camera. Shawn Michaels says he is pretty much done now being on camera. He doesn't like to be anymore. He doesn't want to be anymore. He doesn't feel the need to be in front of the camera or in these storylines anymore. He passed the buck, paid the bill over, helped out Grayson Waller, and he just loves to be, he likes to be behind the scenes now. That's where he's most comfortable. And I think that's the right way to go as well. If the story dictates it in the future, nothing huge, but if you need Shawn Michaels there, that's fine. But I always liked William Regal in that role more. Regal being on TV. It always seems nowadays like Shawn Michaels just doesn't feel comfortable like that. You can actually see that now. One of the best characters in WWE history, and just like beyond overconfident and beyond just Mr. Spotlight, was Shawn Michaels. So to see him nowadays, you can tell he feels uncomfortable being in front of the camera. He doesn't want to be. So why have him be such? I think that's the right call. Michaels knows it. He's now declaring it, and I hope he's not used too much in front of the camera anymore. I don't think it's needed. Find somebody else for that role. Even if it's a fake general manager, something, man. Find somebody else, and let's have some fun with that. But Shawn Michaels, hopes to be, anyway, done with being on camera going forward. I think that's the right call. And a baffling NXT rating here, guys, may I say. And I want to get the exact number, but I think it was 555, which is a rating they pulled post Roadblock, I believe, correct? Was it going into Roadblock or coming out of Roadblock? And I was stunned that they pulled a 555. And then they crept back to like 6, recently pulling 620. I think that was going into Stand and Deliver, correct? Something like that. I think that was going into Stand. So we started to see a rebound from that 555 because that 555,000 rating was not good. I mean, you do not want to see your brand creeping under 500,000 viewers. You don't want to see that hit Rampage type numbers, which is of course high threes into the 400,000s. So what was baffling here is post Mania, NXT pulled 555,000 viewers again. And this is post Mania. My only thought on this is, I bet you so many fans were just exhausted by the nauseism from WrestleMania or Monday Night Raw, WrestleMania Night 2, the finish, and then Monday Night Raw, WWE basically saying F you to the fans. I wonder if NXT caught a lot of that backlash. I bet you a lot of fans were just fucking done with it, at least for a minute. They just put WWE, they were just done with it for a minute. And NXT, because Raw was so bad on Monday night, NXT felt the wrath of it. Because there's no reason they weren't bare minimum be at about 615, 620 is where I had it. Going into Mania, that 620 net number, you would at least pull that. Very odd, man. Their 18 to 49 demo at just a .13. I don't get these numbers. I wonder if Raw was so bad and fans were so pissed off that NXT felt the wrath of Monday Night Raw, of Vince and Kennedy McMahon, of the backlash, of the Fire Vince trend. Because that is not good. 555,000 viewers and a lot of good stuff happened. It was actually a decent fucking show if people just tuned in. Very interesting there. That's on the NXT front of things. Now, over in AEW land, I know this is I told you this was going to be a stacked podcast, man. A lot of you guys might have to watch this in parts, 20 minutes at a time. But AEW, Tony Khan made another big announcement last night. This is what he usually does when the rating gets really low. Of course, they were in the low 800,000s last week. And so here comes another announcement. Sure enough, for days now, he's been hyping up his big announcement. So there's two questions here, right? A, did this announcement finally live up to the hype, or was it like every other announcement where it's just something that could have been in a press release? Like the last announcement where there's going to be a reality show. And he always has Adam Cole actually break the news, but he sets it up for many minutes before. So the first question was the announcement going to live up to the hype? The second question was he going to blink during his promo, during the interview? Because you know how Tony Khan does it, man. He's so overconfident, caffeinated. He's fucking, he's on some, I don't know, he's outside building a snowman before he goes live. But he's playing in the snow. Let's just say that. This guy is tweaked. I love it, though. I love it. There's a part of me that really does love it. This guy is so fucking wild. And he's like, the big announcement is August 27th. Inside of London, All In. It's gonna be all. I think I blinked, so I already fucked up. To answer the question, he did not blink. I don't believe he blinked. This guy did not blink once. He was just like fucking. He was balling out as he cut this promo, talking about how on August 27th there's gonna be an All In pay-per-view. It's gonna be in Wembley Stadium. Hey, that should be fun. We'll see if they can sell that motherfucker out. It'll be hard. It's not going to be a one-day sellout, and anybody that tells you it is, that is so false. Or like 40,000 tickets are on the fucking third-party market, trust me. You ain't going to come to me with no sellout shit. Not even in a full weekend are you selling that place out. Not even in a week are you selling that shit out. But he did not blink. As far as living up to the hype, I can at least say this. This was bigger. This was big news. We kind of already knew about it, though. Most of us did. Or at least you knew half of it. You maybe not have known about the Wembley Stadium part. That's massive. Wembley Stadium is huge. Every event held in Wembley Stadium just seems to be so fun and energetic. So it's a fun announcement. It's a bigger announcement than a lot of them that he's announced in the past. It's still a press release announcement. Whether you like that or not, guys, it's a press release announcement. This is shit that WWE does time and time again, and they just put it out in a presser, and then they announce it quickly on the following show. You know, like they show, like, Sports Illustrated broke the news that, you know what I mean? Like, they'll say it on the show. So, this one was a little bit better, but it's still press release shit, man. To build up that much suspense. And you know you have Jay White on the show. Why not just say, or make that a double-decker, okay, the Wembley Stadium thing, and then after that say, and we have just signed one of the hottest free agents in all of pro wrestling, and Jay White enters frame. Instead, Jay White had a weird re-debut, because he was already in AEW before, but we'll call it a re-debut, because now it's official, he's with AEW. But it was weird. They started the show off with Jay White. Now, normally I wouldn't mind that, but the camera is looking at the entranceway. Jay attacks Ricky Starks from behind. You can't even tell it's him because his back is to the hard cam, and they don't have camera B or C set up properly. So commentary's just, who is that? I think it's Jay White. He's with Juice Robinson. And it was like, we could have done that a bit better, bro. Everybody was talking about his WWE debut. This should have been much more climactic, not anticlimactic. This should have been something way more special, man. I feel like he really was one of the hottest free agents, and it was a lukewarm at best debut. It would have been better if Tony just announced this motherfucker. He enters frame. He kind of pushes Tony off camera, and he cuts a badass Jay White promo, because we know he can. I think that would have been right, and then we can all start believing in Tony Khan's fucking announcements again. But that's the announcement. That's a huge debut, or it should have been done better. But Jay White's in AEW, sound off, guys. I don't know how you feel about that. I think he would have been good in WWE because he's got a character to be such. Like an AJ Styles and such. He might not be the biggest dude, but you can tell that even with shit booking, they're going to somehow turn it into gold. I think Kenny Omega's one of those guys as well. So I think he would have survived. If you talk about sink or swim, I think Jay White would have swam in WWE. But he chose AEW. A lot of people think that's a better fit. My problem with that is, and you're not wrong, of course he fits there. You're going to have bangers, right? Clangers, I call them. I hate the word bangers. It's overused. But you're going to get all that, right? Maybe Meltzer's going to fucking jerk off to 5 or 6 stars. I don't know what Meltzy's going to do. But the problem is you have so many great wrestlers, quote unquote, in AEW. You're going to run out of like placement. There's only so many times you're going to... Adam Cole really isn't back yet, you know? He's had that match, but then they're still kind of like testing the waters with him. You're going to have placement for Adam Cole more times than not. You're going to have placement for people like Bryan Danielson. You're going to have placement for people like the Wheeler Utah. Dan Garcia gets time every fucking week. The Martins, when they're not injured, every fucking week the Martins are out there. There's so much, man. You got to fit in your little action Andretti's. You got to fit in Omega for a while there, for a couple weeks anyway, was having fucking main event matches. Now what, you take him off for a month? There's so much talent, man. The guy literally Tony Khan has like 170 people on his roster. You only have a 2-hour flagship show, bro. Ain't nobody trying to watch no Dark, Elevation, Sensation, Darktation, Mutation, whatever you call your shows, whatever the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th show that TBS and TNT want to give you, or you want to put on the YouTube platform. You have a 2-hour main show and you have 170 people. Good luck getting everybody over or maintaining interest. That's the problem that Jay White's going to have. If I'm Jay White, one of the things I have in my contract is just let me have, not say, I understand you can't have your wrestlers having complete say, but in my contract, I want a discussion at least before we enter storylines and shit. Let's just have a discussion. If I'm not used 3 weeks in a row, I'm guaranteed at least a talk with you, Tony. You know, that would be in my fucking contract. Because that's a big move, not going to WWE. Good job for Jay White, though, man. On the flip side, FTR is staying with AEW. They won the tag titles last night against the Gun Club Many Men. Many, 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 many men. Their new fucking theme song, old school 50 Cent. That was back in the day, bro. Back in the day. 50 Cent and Many Men. Love that song, man. They almost had me cheering for fucking Austin and Colton Gunn. The Gun Club. I always cheered for them due to their theme music. But FTR won that match. So they not only become tag title holders, but they told you their decision. They are going to stay with AEW. We kind of already knew that. They're talking about what's best for their family. A lot of people thought that meant WWE because that's what people say when they sign with WWE. It's best for my family financially. I think what they were saying is we get to be home with the family more, you know, less dates. We just hope that Tony Khan uses them properly. That was the problem with Tony Khan and FTR. That was the reason there was a big problem between them. They were never used on Dynamite, guys. And when they were, it was 10-man tags, or they were losing, or Dax was by himself wrestling one-on-one matches. It was very weird. And they would have other titles from all around the world, but not in their own company. They were not showcased on Dynamite. So we're going to see how this changes. Maybe they had a long talk before they re-signed. That's cool. And BC is celebrating a belated MJF day, guys. A lot of different mixed reactions from last night's Dynamite with MJF. He put on a singing clinic, tapping into his old Broadway performance with Chris Jericho a couple years ago. Celebrating his own day. You had like the mayor giving him the key to the city. They're declaring it MJF Day in Long Island. And according to MJF, all over the place. So there's mixed reactions, you know, like, oh no, this is the WWE shit. We claim we're an alternative, we're not acting like it, and this is why people bash us. To be honest, I love it. I love it, man. It's okay to be entertainment. You are anyway. Wrestling has to have shit like that, man. You gotta entertain. Maybe you don't like it, I understand that. But you gotta think outside the box and do some wacky, ludicrous shit at times. You gotta. You can't just have one match after another match after another match of gymnastics and flips and dives and wrestler A in black tights beats wrestler B in black tights and Meltzer jerks off over 4 stars. You can't just do that all the time. That's why wrestling is in a decline. It's reclining. It's absolutely reclining. So going backwards, and that's a part of the problem, man. These shows are not being, from top to bottom, start to finish, beginning to end, the shows are not filled with a little bit of everything. That's what used to make the Attitude Era so special. When you really think about it, it wasn't just the stars like Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Angle, H. You think that's it, but no, look at everything that was going on, guys. You were checking off every box. There was a little bit of zaniness in every segment. It was wild. And by the end of the show, you're like, fuck, I can't wait till next week. We don't do that anymore. Nobody's having real fun anymore. So you may not have liked it. And I understand that it's not exactly what AEW was built upon, but if you want to build your audience, if you want AEW to stick around for 10 more years, 20, 50, and beyond, invite that shit, man. Be happy that somebody on that roster is willing to do shit like that, willing to entertain, willing to have fun, willing to step away for a damn fucking moment from your little gymnastics contest. Wrestling is more than the maneuvers. I know that's painful to hear, and it's like, what? But it's called wrestling, Beasley. I know. But professional wrestling is more than that. I think you're probably, maybe something like collegiate wrestling is better for you. Maybe something like UFC, actual combat, is better for you. Maybe gymnastics, literally, like the Olympics. Maybe that's more for you. Pro wrestling is not that. And so you might be bashing what MJF did last night, but that's professional wrestling. That's what gives characters layers and shit, what they're willing to do, performances outside of just the moves in the ring. I loved it. If you didn't, sucks, but just know that it's not going to kill AEW. Relax. RELAX. BC celebrated MJF Day, no doubt. Kept you here, guys, over a fucking hour. Told you I was going to do such, and that is exactly what we did. So you know what? I'm going to hold off on any other stories, and BC is going to let you guys rock out. Yeah, I'm going to hold, but yeah, that story's going to take another 10 minutes. Maybe I'll put that one, maybe tomorrow we'll go over this story. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You got to wait till tomorrow. That's called a cliffhanger, baby. In the content creator business, in the platform business that we are in, that's called a cliffhanger. The entertainment business, we'd call that a cliffhanger. You got to come back tomorrow. Hey, much love and respect to all you guys, man. Thank you for having a lot of fun with the Rick Roll earlier. BC wanted to have a little fun, just for myself, really. I felt we all needed a laugh after the past few days that Vince has given us. I feel we needed to start the day with a Rick Roll, I felt. So we all got Rick Rolled this morning. That has taken on a life of its own, by the way. I can't believe how many views that got so quickly. It's only been up for a couple of hours. Motherfucker's already about to get fucking over 4,000 real-time views. How the fuck? I'm sure I pissed off some people, too, because they really thought Endeavor responded to the Fire Vince. Guys, much love and respect, man. It's good to be back into the groove. We are back and running with the Amped Up podcasts, and we are going to do this straight into the summer, into SummerSlam, for sure. So come right back tomorrow, man. A new Amped Up podcast with BC will be up Friday, April 7th, Good Friday, heading into Easter, if a lot of you guys celebrate. Whether you celebrate or not Easter, BC is going to be with you guys tomorrow with a brand new Amped Up podcast. So be ready for that. And I kept you guys here long enough, but what I hope to do tomorrow for my gold card members, my channel members, we haven't done it in a minute, roll call. This is where I shout out every single channel member. We got a few new members, quite a bit over the week. So I want to make sure that we do a brand new, YouTube updates the list every hour. New channel members, anybody who canceled gets booted. Channel members every hour get updated. So I will have an up-to-date list for all my gold card channel members. We'll do a roll call tomorrow, hopefully, if I don't go another hour and a half like I'm doing right now. That's it. BC, saying check you, top guy. I'm out. We the ones. The rest of these schmucks in this community, you know they're distant too, bro. You know this. Should we play the Rick roll? Should we play Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up on the way out? No. We're not going to do that. BC's going to hit his own theme music. How's that? Here we go. We're going to hit the music and we out. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Check you.